After that, I was even worse at my job because I wanted to ride horses, and I was even worse at riding horses because I wished I didn't have to do my job, and I wish that's all I did, which I could have summarized these last couple of paragraphs by explaining that Tarzan in the jungle, you can't hold on to two vines at the same time, or the swooping isn't swooping, it just goes nowhere, just like you can't serve God and mammon. I definitely did not discuss my dilemma or my frustration with anyone because I didn't want anyone to think I was ditzy. I didn't talk about it even with my, quote, spiritual friends, who mostly turned out to be the most capricious, judgmental, tightly wound ones of all. I still don't get that, socially acting mellow and letting things go, but then tapping your foot in the line at Starbucks. I want to reiterate that my commitment was not to horses, but to the lit-up thoughts and to the laconic voice in my head with the Maury Povich soundbite. But ditching everything for horses sounded daffy enough, so no way was I going to admit the truth to people and be mocked. Oh my God, heaven forbid. So it was still only a half life. I yearned to be a professional in the horse world, but I was still too scared to quit and take the plunge. I was trying to figure out how I'd leave, just hanging there between. It wasn't like I was disobeying him purposefully. I honestly didn't see the way to do it, and I was trying to figure it out and calculate it. I hadn't yet learned these facts. Number one, God's plan is usually preposterous. That's what miracles are. Number two, that I was not in charge of the logistics. And number three, that I would be informed on a need-to-know basis only. From this hanging phase between the vines, I did learn that one vine would fall apart, but the one that I was meant to swing from would hold. Fred fired me. I was horrified, but within days a random acquaintance told me about a job with the most famous dressage rider in America, and a few weeks later I was on my way, bouncing in the passenger seat of a cab of a horse van filled with international horses en route to Florida for the winter show season. I was nothing more than a groom. I could not imagine the weight of the wheelbarrows filled with urine-soaked straw and shit that I would push along the backside of the barns at the Palm Beach Polo Club, which is not as far from the Upper East Side of New York as I thought. I had no idea of the frustration, exhaustion, and uncertainty that awaited me. I had no idea of the loneliness I would face and the mysteries of horse training I would pine for. But I was on my way. I became a servant to the horses. Workdays began with the 6:45 a.m. feeding and ended with a night check at 9:45. In return for my effort, I was made privy to behind-the-scenes horse business, which mainly involves heavy lifting, strict schedules, diligent maintenance, precise care, and lots of work. I had 3 days off per month. I was given a small stipend for food and a tiny room with filthy carpet in a cement block apartment. It was nasty, like an apartment on that TV show Cops. My room was 20 minutes from the immaculate stables at the Palm Beach Polo Club. The horses there lived far better than I did. I wasn't prepared for the physical labor, the training, or the sophistication of the horses. I'd never been so tired. I'd never been so sore. But I kept my mouth shut.